Welcome to the Feel Your Best Formula podcast. Are you over 40 and tired of struggling with your weight? Do you feel like you're constantly starting over with your nutrition and fitness? I'm Lil, a certified nutrition coach and former registered nurse, and I too have been there. At the age of 44, I decided I was done with being stuck in the vicious diet cycle. I became a nutrition coach and created the Feel Your Best Formula for women who are ready to do things differently. If you're ready to build a better relationship with food, get your energy back, build muscle, lose fat, and keep it off for good, then you're in the right place. I'm so glad you're here. Now let's build your formula for feeling your best. Hey, welcome to the Feel Your Best Formula podcast. My name is Lil, and today we're talking about the mental health benefits of using a macro-based nutrition approach. From what I have observed in my 47 years as a woman, it's that most of our diet and exercise success comes down to the psychological and mental part of the process. It's not so much about exactly what your plan looks like, but some plans can play really well with your mental health, and other plans can harm your mental health. And I'm saying that as someone who has been there. And I know that you're listening to this, and I don't need to tell you what a healthy or unhealthy food is if we're thinking of the spectrum of health when it comes to certain foods. And that's not what I do as a nutrition coach. I don't lecture you on what you can and cannot eat. What I do is help you build a way of eating that supports your goals, and that includes your mental health and how you feel. Because I could give you a restrictive plan and I could help you lose 20 pounds in, 3 to 4 weeks. But where are you going to end up at the end of that weight loss phase, right? You're going to have done very extreme things, cutting your calories, probably over exercising, and doing all kinds of things that you absolutely are not going to be able to maintain. And when I became a nutrition coach, I knew I wanted to help women in a real and sustainable way because that is what I had been looking for. I'm no different from you. I have struggled with my relationship with food, the scale in my body. I'm sharing with you in the podcast cover art for this episode a side-by-side comparison photo of myself. The photo on my left, I'm real skinny. I'm not happy. I still thought I needed to lose 10 pounds. I was obsessed with what I ate. I was obsessed with eating my approved foods and avoiding foods that I thought were bad for me. I still thought I needed to lose 10 pounds. I mean, it is crazy for me to look at that photo. The photo on the right is a recent photo of me now. I'm literally over 30 pounds heavier than I am in the photo on the left. I'm happy. I have a healthy relationship with food, the scale, and my body. I don't know that I've gotten to my goal yet. The thing about macros is you can choose to stop wherever you are, maintain where you are, enjoy the view for a while, and decide, hey, do I want to stay here and build more muscle, or do I want to lose some fat? And I've been working on building muscle now for a really, really long time. It's been punctuated with a few things along the way, especially most recently my broken ankle. But I have gotten so strong, and I'm so excited that when I do a full fat loss phase, I'm really excited to see what that next phase in the process is going to look like for me. But also, if I just stayed where I am today, I would be super happy. I am super happy. This is the best I've ever felt. And it's because I am no longer following fad diets. It's because I use macros to help me make food choices. And that's what macros are. It is not a restrictive plan. It is a tool to empower you with how to make food choices, because that is what you were confused about. If you knew how to make better food choices that helped you feel good physically and mentally, I don't think you would be listening to this podcast. At the peak of my disordered relationship with the food, the scale, and my body, I was not counting macros. I had this long list of foods that I could eat, and this the list of foods that I could eat was finite and comprehensive. The list of foods that I could not eat was endless, and I felt guilty if I ate foods or a meal. And I feel like if you've been there, then you know what I'm saying. You're like, oh, I'm being good. I'm following these foods. Oh no, I was bad today. The world's going to fall apart. I'm going to gain 10 pounds overnight. I ate these foods that are off the list. And it's not empowering. It's the complete opposite. And that can have a very negative effect on your mental health. So it might sound crazy. And if you think that happiness is going to be found at the lower number on the scale, I'm here to tell you, for me, that was not true. I was very skinny, very unhappy. And the number on the scale does not tell you anything about your overall health, right? I was under muscled there. I am much healthier now. I'm so much stronger. I have better body composition. And that in turn, especially being strong, has been so good for my mental health. But if it wasn't for macros, if it wasn't for eating the right amount of calories, eating the right amount of protein, I wouldn't be where I am today. I think another thing that a lot of people are affected by is digestive issues. There's so many people with, gas, bloating, constipation, diarrhea, all these issues going on. And following a macro-based plan and understanding how much fiber you should be eating and tracking how your body feels when you eat certain foods can be so empowering. A lot of my clients come to me really feeling sluggish and bloated and having issues. And once we kind of work things out, and of course, I refer them to a medical professional if that is required, but that helps them feel so much better overall. But if you're constantly under eating, not eating enough calories, not eating enough food volume, not eating enough fiber, your gut is going to feel horrible. And the diet industry is not only there to ruin your digestive tract, but they're there to sell you, of course, try to sell you on supplements or diet programs to, quote, fix your gut health. And it's all just insanity. So I know before I started a macro-based plan, I had a lot of fears about it, about weighing my food. It was going to be complicated, difficult, etc. And I have to say that's because when I had tried to count macros in the past, I was overcomplicating it. And if you're going to start with a macro-based plan, the most foundational baseline thing you can do is track your calories and track your protein to get started. Because if you're getting enough protein, that's going to have such a ripple effect on how you feel and help you feel better. And you're going to be prioritizing that protein, leaving less room for, the foods that might have as much nutritional value, that might be a little higher in sugar and fat, because you're going to be full and satisfied from eating the adequate amount of protein. And it really can just create this really positive ripple effect. And in the past, when I tried to count macros, I had tried to count my protein, my carbs, and my fats, and every single day hit a certain number, which is just insanity. If you're not an elite athlete, you do not need to be doing that. And certainly tracking your calories and protein, if you're not doing anything right now to create food awareness or calorie awareness or macro awareness in your diet, certainly tracking those two things is better than what you're doing right now, right? And so that's why having an all or nothing attitude is never helpful when it comes to building habits that last. And I chose macros because I just knew this is what science tells us is the most informative way to match the food that we put in our body with the nourishment that our body needs. That's just what science tells us. And even though I'm not an elite athlete, obviously the scientific evidence and studies all kind of started with people who wanted to perform better as elite athletes or bodybuilders. But we can still take that information and apply it to ourselves. And my performance isn't, to win an Olympic medal, but it's to wake up in the morning and be excited to wake up and have energy and do a workout and be in a good mood and be able to take my dog for a walk and be able to keep up with my kids and carry a laundry basket and do whatever that I want to do, that I can do in this body, and not feel like there's limits or restrictions because I don't feel good. And I am someone that I do have arthritis and back issues, and eating right has just helped me feel so much better overall. And it's crazy how once you start following a macro-based plan and you start feeling better, you kind of realize that you didn't feel good. And it's a very interesting connection to start making. So here's the thing. When I decided to become a nutrition coach, like I said, I wanted to help people in a sustainable way. And for those of you who are out there just constantly looking for the next diet, I want you to understand that macros can be the last diet or nutrition plan that you ever have to learn. And the other thing about it is it's so empowering, and it's really just there to help you make the food choices that lead you towards the goals that you have, because it is so flexible. And you can use macros to gain and build muscle. You can use macros to stay right where you are. You can use macros to lose body fat and be empowered to, at any time, change your direction. And it's such a different mindset than, oh, here's your diet, follow this, lose weight. We're not going to teach you how to keep the weight off. That's what most diet plans are. And that's why you end up right back where you started. So today, let's talk specifically about the mental health benefits. I'm a strong believer in the mind-body connection. It's something I've experienced myself. And when you're following a nutrition plan that is feeling supportive and empowering versus restrictive and, oh my gosh, I can't wait to stop eating this way, because that's how you feel when you're on a lot of diets. You're just kind of waiting for it to end. It has such a positive mental health benefit, and a weight gets lifted. And it's that connection between what it's doing for you physically and what it can do for you mentally. So I just want to highlight my favorite things about a macro-based nutrition plan and the positive impact it can have on your mental health. So let's start with energy. When you start eating a well-balanced, correct mix of proteins, carbs, and fats, this, number one, is going to be individualized, personalized for your needs. You're not going to be handed a cookie cutter plan and expected to feel great on this plan that wasn't made for you. Instead, you get to figure out, number one, what is it that your body actually needs? And then once you start eating that way, you get to decide how you want that diet to play out. Where do you enjoy getting your protein from? Where do you enjoy getting your carbohydrates from? What type of healthy fats do you enjoy? Do you like avocado? Do you like olive oil? And you get to build a way of eating that works for you and is super flexible. But you're going to feel better, your energy levels. If you are not fueling your body properly, you're putting a lot of strain on your body. And I'm a big believer that by overeating is actually a form of malnourishment, because you're giving your body too much, and then it's forcing your body to store it as fat, which then can make you not feel so great. So by eating the right balance of macros, you are literally fueling your body with what it needs, because macros are the energy that your body needs, just like gas for a car. And this is completely different from fad diets that restrict certain nutrients and might even restrict certain food groups that can lead to energy crashes and fatigue. So in addition to improved energy, you're also going to feel better with your mood and ability to concentrate. So it's not just the fact that you're fueling your body properly, but because your blood sugar is going to be more balanced, you're not going to constantly be hungry. I'm a big proponent of eating 3 large macro based meals per day, where if you're eating these little small meals and constantly eating every 2, 3, 4 hours, number one, there's a higher likelihood that you could get interrupted and not be able to eat one of those meals. A large portion of your day is spent kind of obsessing and thinking about what you're going to eat. I think about what I'm going to eat 3 times a day, and that's it. And I know if I'm having a snack, I know it's either a yogurt or a protein shake or a protein bar. There's a very short list of the foods that I'm snacking on. And I'm in a better mood and I'm able to focus because I don't have that constant mental chatter of what am I going to eat next in my brain anymore. And I used to. So I know the difference from how I used to feel to how I feel now. And it just helps put you in a better mood. And when it comes to doing work, or whatever you're trying to do, read a book, you don't have that hunger and that constant thought of what am I going to eat next. Additionally, I've already talked about this a little bit, but building a healthy relationship with food is so good for your mental health. A macro based plan, right from the start, when you work with me, I'm telling you, you need to fit in your favorite foods. What are those favorite foods that you really, really love? I've said it a million times on here. Ice cream is my thing. I have a little mini ice cream cone almost every night. If I'm hungry and I want it, I have it. And it's flexible, meaning you're not feeling like you're failing if you can't stick to this restrictive, rigid plan, which is so good for your mental health, that feeling of failure. Diets just create so much feeling of failure and so much mental burden when we feel like there's something wrong with us, that we don't have the willpower, we're not strong enough, we're not able to prep the food the way we need to. And restrictive diets are such a burden on your mental health, and a macro based plan is the complete opposite, helping you realize that all foods fit and you can have a healthy relationship with food, reduce the likelihood of disordered eating behaviors, because fad diets really promote disordered eating because, again, they're not empowering you. You're trying to fit their plan into your life. Okay, the fourth thing, this is the number one reason why I know you want to make changes. I'm guessing you want some sort of weight management, fat loss, body recomposition, call it whatever you want. You want to change the way your body looks. As I said, a macro-based nutrition can be, your plan can be created to help you build muscle. That's where I am right now. I'm in a muscle building phase. Your plan can keep you exactly where you are right now in maintenance, whether that means reaching your goals and maintaining it, or taking little pit stops of maintenance along your way towards fat loss or muscle building. Or you can, what I think most of you want is fat loss, but I really think muscle building and fat loss go hand in hand. And you can use macros to literally just point the compass in the direction you want to go. And again, empowerment versus disempowerment. Fad diets, here's your diet, go lose some weight. Macros, what do you want? What do you want a year from now? What do you want 5 years from now? And decide that, and you can start today taking steps by building habits that support your nutrition and support your goals, because it's not all about the nutrition. If you want to build muscle, you also have to strength train, right? If you want to lose fat and have good heart health, you've also got to live an active life and have some cardio, stimulation in there for your cardiovascular health. Everything goes hand in hand. But if you want sustainable weight management, lose the weight, keep it off for good, macros is going to be the tool that gets you there. And I understand it can be a little overwhelming when you get started. And that's why with my Feel Your Best formula, I literally take you by the hand, walk you step by step through the process to build the plan that works for you. That's why we call it your formula for feeling your best. Because no two clients of mine, while they follow the same foundational principles, none of their lives look exactly the same. Versus fad dieting, where everyone, I did this for years, guys, where everyone followed the same program, ate the same foods, did the same workouts, and we are not all carbon copies. We are our own unique, special little snowflake, and our lives are all different. And I know it can be, I think the scariest part is thinking about taking ownership in that process and, making certain decisions for yourself. But that's why I coach. I do that with you. I am by your side. You can borrow my confidence that yes, what you're doing is the right thing. As I'm recording this today, I have 2 clients starting a fat loss phase, and I believe I have another one starting next week. We're going to see how she feels at the end of this week. And I'm so excited for them because they have spent the time building their skills, building their habits, that now when they do this fat loss phase, they're actually going to reach their goal and they're actually going to be able to maintain it, which is going to be the best part. And it's not going to be like, oh, you're doing a 12-week fat loss phase. It's nope, let's do it for 4 weeks. Let's see where we are. Let's see what we want to do. How are you feeling physically? How are you feeling mentally? Because so many women of our generation are so, I don't want to say traumatized, but we are just so messed up from all the dieting that we've done for years and years and years. And the cool thing about macros, like I said, you can always stop and take a break, whether it's 1 day or a week. You can go back into maintenance, take a breather, and get yourself together. And then go back into a fat loss phase if you need to. No harm, no foul. Whereas in the past, as soon as you hit that wall of, oh my gosh, I can't do this anymore, you throw in the towel because you don't know how to take that little stop in maintenance and enjoy the view for a while. Or, life throws you a curveball and you're overwhelmed and you're having some stress and anxiety, and trying to diet on top of that is just not a great idea. So, or you have an injury, you got to go back into maintenance. You got to heal your body. You got to nourish your body. And instead of looking at it as a straight line from where you are right now to however many pounds you think that you want to lose, you have to look at it as a series of ups and downs where you're never moving backwards. You're always moving forwards, even if you're taking a stop in maintenance. And that is why macros are so amazing for sustainable weight management. And just think of the mental health benefits of actually feeling empowered like that. All right, that is it for today's episode. It was a quick one, but a powerful one. If you ever have any thoughts, you can always reach out via email. And I always have the link below. If you're interested in coaching, you can reach out and contact me via the form. But I really hope that you can see that macros are not something to be scared of. Like anything, there's a learning curve. But when you do it in a supported and step-by-step process, it can be literally the last time you ever learn a new way of eating. All right, that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you back here next week. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode of the Feel Your Best Formula podcast. If you enjoyed the information and discussion we had here today, then make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. If you're serious about making changes with your nutrition and fitness, then you definitely want to join my weekly newsletter list as well. You can find the link below and more information in the episode details. That's all for today, and we will see you back here next week for a new episode of the Feel Your Best Formula podcast.